Hello, so as you know, I've been having a little bit of trouble with the internet and going live. It's only the going live bit that's really kind of been a bit tricky recently. So today I thought I would do the leather technique, but we are going to do it as a premiere. Now, what that means is I'm talking to you now, and then on the side, whichever side it is, I think it'll be, well, it's one of the sides. There's the chat room as you would do in a live, and then all you're going to do is just chat into there, and I will be in there. So say hello, Katie, in the chat room. Say hello. That's it. Say hello, and then everybody else can say hello as well. So what we're going to do is we'll do it that way, and then if you've got any questions, just type it in the chat box, and Katie or myself will answer it, as in I will, in the chat room. If you get me. Anyway, right, I'm going to now pop you down onto the desk, and I'm going to show you what I mean by leather techniques. Okay, so sorry that it's the glass, but we are going to be using wet mediums today. So what I am going to show you, if I just move all of this out of the way, this is as though it would be live. This is what we're going to hopefully create, something a little bit like this. Now, this started life off as a common all garden file folder. So just a file folder like so, just your absolute normal just file folder. And all I did was I have used a few techniques to create this leather look and leather feel. So if I take this off, you'll be able to see it's a completely different kind of, what I would like to say, like structure to this. So even though these are the same, this is the same medium, this has got a lot more it's a lot more flexible than this is obviously card, and it's, if you do that, you're going to rip it, but with this you're not going to rip it. So this is literally just a little notebook that I've created, and it's just like that kind of, it's just got such a lovely, so flexible and so malleable as well. And then there's the little kind of belly band to go round the notebook. So we've got that. So we're going to create something a little bit like that, and then, so I've got my notebook paper all ready to go, and this is just copy paper that has been sprayed with coffee, and then I've literally just baked it in the oven and ironed it. Yes, it's the only time I will ever iron paper, I am telling you now. But yeah, and then I've just used some stamps on there just to create a little bit of difference. So, and also actually I'll show you this as well. So this is my journal that we've seen a lot of, but what I want to do is create a leather style cover to it. I've already covered some of this, but we will cover the rest of it hopefully with some of the other paper that I have used. So what we are going to do first of all is we are going to talk about what we need to create this texture, and how you basically, what ingredients you need. So I have got this glycerin, it's vegetable glycerin, and I think it was £6 from Amazon, and I mean it's fantastic for all sorts of things. It is fantastic, and literally it's by weight. So when you get it, it's not actually a full bottle, you do get, it's by weight. So that's how they kind of send this out to you. So if you do get this particular one, which I'll put in the link below, it will come to you perhaps maybe down to about the beginning of the label there. So you're going to need some glycerin, you're going to need a spray bottle, and water, just tap water. Now the mixture in here is 1 part glycerin to 6 parts water. I must admit I haven't measured it, I've literally just eyeballed it, so it's up to you if you want to do like a tablespoon of glycerin and then 6 tablespoons of water. It's completely up to you, but I just literally eyeballed it. And then you pop it into your spray bottle. So that is essentially what we are going to use for now to create the texture on the card or the paper or anything like that. So let's do some of this card. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this card. In fact, we'll just take some of this here. I'll just do a small amount, and then you can see that's why I've got obviously the glass table. So what you're going to do is you're literally just going to spray the paper or the card, flip it over. Oh, it's folded over. I forgot about that. Oh, never mind. That's okay. Okay, so we're just going to spray our card with this mixture. Okay, then what we're going to do is I'll just roll up my sleeves a little bit here. Hopefully you can see that. Now, I'm just going to press the water into the card. So this is just card. You can use craft card as well if you like. You know, it's just a nice kind of base, and I'll show you other mediums that you can use as well. So you're just going to pat all of that down, lift it off. Now be very, very careful, because obviously it's wet now, so it means it's going to be really delicate. So as you can see here, we're just kind of working the water and glycerin mixture into our card. So then I'm just literally going to lift that off, and as you can see now it's all wet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to scrunch up this piece of card. I'm just going to use it to soak up all of that wonderfulness. Give it a good squeeze, like so. Now when you unravel this, be very careful, because as I keep saying, it is wet and it is very delicate. So if I just open that up now, you'll see that we're kind of getting a leather-ish look. So again, I'm just going to run around my mat, just pick up all of that water. You don't have to do this, it's just that I'm frugal. Squeeze, 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 roll, roll, roll. Squeeze, 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 and roll, roll, roll again for the second time. And again, be very, very, very careful when you're unrolling it and unraveling it, like so. So now we've got that again. Okay, and then I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine and my embossing folder. Now you don't need to do this. If you have got these pieces of equipment, then you can, but this is just something a little bit different as well. What I might do actually is I'm just going to rip down the center, and we'll keep one plain and one, and I'll do one with the embossing. So here we have what I would then just let that air dry. So if you want to keep rolling it up just to create more creases in there, then you can do. So we're just going to unravel that, and as you can see, it just creates a really nice texture. Now obviously that is still wet, so I'm just going to move that to one side, and then with this one here I'm just going to get my die cutting machine, and for this I've got my Sizzix. I hope you can see that. I'm just going to pop that on top of there. I've got my plates and my plate there, and I'm just going to dig out a embossing folder. What should we go for? Let's just go for something like, I'm going to go for the numbers. So I've got this one. It's a Tim Holtz Bingo numbers by Sizzix. I'm just going to pop that inside of there. Then we've got our one plate. We've got our little plates there. I'm just going to create a little bit of a sandwich, and I'm going to run that through. It doesn't need to be dry. Obviously, if you've got an electric machine, you need to be very careful. And I'm just going to bring that back through like so. I'll take that out and then you'll be able to see what's happened. Just put that to the side. Okay, so now we'll be able to unravel this and we'll be able to see what's happened. So as you can see, it's kind of, you can see that it's obviously still wet, but now you take that out and it's kind of taken on the embossed feature, if you like. So am I going to dry these now? I'll pop them on the radiator here and hopefully by the end of the sessions they may be dry. In fact, I'll just pop them onto here and then you'll be able to, hopefully, if they are done, then that will be brilliant. So this is what it would look like once it's dry. So you've got like this lovely texture of card. Now with this one, I actually went in and I should have used just normal hair conditioner. You can just have a tiny little bit of hair conditioner and pop that on, and it kind of gives it a suede effect on one side. So you have like the suede effect on one side, and then I'll show you how you get this kind of glossy finish afterwards. But yeah, it's got like a suede effect on one side there. But that is initially how it would dry out, and then I've literally just gone over it with some inks, which we will do in a bit. So that's what the card would look like. So something else you can turn perhaps into a leather style is paper bags. So if you go shopping or anything like that, you can pick up little brown paper bags like so. What I'm going to do is I'll just get my scissors and I'm just going to cut these. Just cut that along that section there, and then obviously now I'm just going to cut, and I'm going to see if we can peel that away. Probably can't. Doesn't have to be neat anyway. Right, so now we've got this the paper bag. So again, we're going to do the exact same thing. So squirt with your mixture, your glycerin mixture and water. Flip that over. Now obviously paper bags are a lot more delicate than a than card, because obviously it's a thinner GSM than your card. So I'm just going to lift that up, see if we can soak up all of that water, and then do the exact same thing again. And this time I'm just gonna, you'll feel there's a lot more water that comes out of a paper bag than card. Now then, I don't know if you can see that. If you just do that with it like so. Now then, with this you've got to be very, very careful when you unravel. So here we go. So there you go. Look, I've already ripped it there, but that's fine because you can incorporate that into your design for whatever you're using this for. So as you can see here, that creates a completely different texture to the card. So you're going to get different levels of leatheriness, I suppose you could call it, with different mediums that you use. So I'm just going to let that dry. Put that, oh, birds must be outside. And when it does dry, if I just take a cloth, just going to wipe that down like so. I don't think that cloth was good enough, but never mind, that'll just have to do for now. Have I got anything? Nope. Anyway, so this is the paper bag after it's dried. So it doesn't really look like much at the moment. So what we're going to do is grab some inks. inks. So I'm going to go with some tea dye, a little bit of vintage photo, and we've got walnut stain, vintage photo, and tea dye. So I'm going to go in with the lighter section first, and I'm literally just going to go in straight with the ink pad. Now you can see a little bit of that. Obviously it's picking up some of the water that we've just used, but it's going to get wet anyway in a second. So you're just going to do that over, oops, oh dear, over the paper, and it will pick up the ink on the creases. As you can see just along here, it picks it up really nicely. So we just keep going with that. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of vintage photo, which I think is actually running out a little bit. Actually, I think I need to get a new one of those. This is walnut stains. This is quite dark, and I'm just, yeah, see, you can just see that popping up over everything. And that then is giving the same vibe that's on my journal, because this is what I'm going to use to cover the rest of my journal that I made out of Amazon packaging. So I just keep doing that. You can see it's just bringing that up really, really nicely. As you can see now, we're kind of getting some nice little bits of texture, and we're kind of getting a look of leather. So I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. So now what I'm going to do is bring in my journal, and then I'm literally just going to piece this on to my journal. And to do that, I'm going to use PVA glue. And a brush. So the beauty of doing it this way is that you'll be able to see the finished result, whereas if I'd have done this live, you wouldn't have done, because it would have still been wet. So I'm just going to literally paint on my PVA glue, and it is just this big bottle that I got from Tesco's, and then I'm just going to glue this directly onto the Amazon packaging. But we still haven't finished with the kind of finished the actual result, the end result. So we're going to piece that together. So I'm just going to press that down onto my journal, like so. Just lift that up. Okay, so here I'm just carrying on and putting the PVA glue on top of the envelope there, or the packaging, smoothing it out, and then just adding some more. We're doing that all the way around the journal until all of the paper's on. And then once all of that's glued down and dried, what I'm doing here is I'm actually popping on the decoupage, which is like a glossy glue. You could use Mod Podge if you wanted to, but this is what I've chosen to use. I think it gives a really nice finish. And if you see here, as we're just popping on the glue now, it kind of adds a real texture and darkness and colour to the paper. So it just adds a little bit more richness, which gives that faux leather look and can give that faux leather feel as well. So it's just a nice way of kind of decorating your journals, or if you wanted to to create something with a leather look background, this is a nice way of doing it. So just trying to get into all the nooks and crannies on there with the decoupage glue. You can get this from places like Hobbycraft, The Range. I'm definitely sure you could probably get it on Amazon, because let's face it, you can get most things on Amazon. And so I'm just literally using just a paintbrush to pop it on and just filling it into all of the creases and wrinkles, which I really like, and the texture is just amazing. So I think once this is done, we'll wait for it to dry, and then we'll see the end results in a little bit. So yeah. Okay, so this is it now, all almost dry. I've just got that little bit there. I'm just hoping that's going to dry, because that was still a little bit wet when I did it. But that is what the what it looks like now after we've added the deco patch. So if we compare it to, that's how it was, and that's how it looks like now as the leather. You know, I think it actually gives a really nice effect as leather. So we can then just carry on, and I can kind of add more bits to this as well. I'm going to do some leather effect sections to this book, but I'm really pleased with how that cover's actually turned out. And when it's sitting in, you know, if you wanted to, you could actually cover an actual book like this if you wanted to. But I'm just going to let that finish off drying off. But I just wanted to show you that is just a leather look that we can do. So now we've got, these are the bits that we just did at the beginning. So I thought, well, we'll just finish off with these, and then that is basically a little bit of our leather leather section. So I've already gone ahead and just used my ink just over the top there on these, and then I'm going to come back in with my deco patch. Oops. And what I'm going to do is just go over the top. Now I'm going to just do half. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference. I mean, it's not going to dry off, but you can see it on the book how different it is. And this is just a it's just a glossy glue, and it's basically, it's for decoupage paper, it says, but I use it quite a lot on my mixed media layouts and things like that, just to seal seal different things. Or, you know, you wouldn't get the same amount of gloss that you would do with this with just PVA glue, but PVA glue does seal things. If you've got Mod Podge, then you could use that, I would think. But it just adds a really nice kind of texture. I'm just trying to get into all of the nooks and crannies. Oh, here comes some more rain. All of the nooks and crannies there. And as you can see, I mean, even before it even dries, you can see the difference in the texture. So let's try it with the one that we embossed. Oh, it's actually hailstones. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm just popping that on. And with these you can create faux leather, like little faux leather tabs or something like that, which is probably what I'll end up doing with these. But there you go. So that is how I've kind of created the faux leather. Now obviously it's not a technique that I have I've created on my own, but there's just like little ways that I've kind of used bits of my own kind of inspiration and things like that. So I'm not claiming that it's mine, but it's just another thing for you to tinker with. So if you wanted to do that, and then you could pop it onto, if you had anything wood, you could probably pop it onto that if you wanted to turn it into jewellery or something like that. but it's just absolutely perfect for your mixed media. So as you can see here, and it's not quite dry yet, but it's nearly there, how different that is to this. It just adds a little bit more texture to the paper, and it just gives it that, you know, that fantastic feel. And as I say, if you wanted to kind of create a little bit more of a softer look, you could use just regular hair conditioner as well after you've done your actual glycerin and water mix. Just add the tiniest dot, and then if you just rub that into the paper, it just kind of, because obviously paper is fibre and your hair is basically a fibre, it would just kind of coat it and condition it and make it softer but keep it quite strong. So if you wanted to try it with the hair conditioner, then that'd be amazing. But there you go, we've got like a leather patch there now. So we'll just let that dry, and then that's just going to dry off as well. And as I say, this is just Deco Patch. It's a glossy glue. It makes the colours brighter, and it sticks to any kind of paper or fabric onto any surface. It says once dry, it creates a transparent, shiny, non-sticky and water-resistant film. Most importantly, it is water-based. So, and that's what it looks like. It's that there, Deco Patch, Paper Patch, Glossy Glue. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much, and thank you for being patient with obviously all the internet woes and worries and things like that. So that is my faux leather paper technique. So I shall see you next week. Next week, I mean, obviously I don't know what the internet's going to be like, so I will probably do another one of these premieres. But next week, what we are going to do is, if you've got a book, a hardback book, we're going to turn this into a jewellery box. So if you want to see how to turn this into a jewellery box, then join me next week for our premiere at 6:30 on this channel. I shall link everything on my Facebook page and things like that. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day, or half an hour, or however long this is, because I haven't edited it yet. But thank you so much. And Katie, if you could say goodbye in the chat room, that would be brilliant. And thank you for joining me. I shall see you soon. Bye.